Welcome to HD Rare Coins, your ultimate source for rare coins, fascinating history, and the thrill of discovery. From legendary pennies to hidden gems, we explore the world of numismatics one amazing coin at a time. It starts, as most discoveries do, with something that seems ordinary. A handful of change jingling in your pocket. A penny lying heads up on the sidewalk. You pick it up out of habit, not because you expect anything from it. It's just a penny, after all. 1 cent practically worthless in the world of rising prices and digital payments. But what if I told you that a penny minted in 1992, something you might have spent on gum or ignored at the bottom of a coin jar, could be worth as much as $145,000 today? That's not exaggeration. That's the story of one of the most surprising modern numismatic treasures in American coinage history. And what makes it even more incredible is that this treasure wasn't made of gold or silver. It wasn't ancient. It wasn't produced in small numbers on purpose. No, it was made in the billions. Mass-produced. But hidden among those billions is a variation, so rare, so subtle, that only the sharpest eyes spotted it. And when they did, it changed everything. To appreciate the value of this one penny, we have to go back to the early 1990s, a transitional era in American minting. The 1992 Lincoln cent was meant to be just another entry in the long lineage of pennies that had begun in 1909 with the debut of Lincoln's portrait. By then, Americans had grown up with his solemn profile on the obverse, or front, of the coin, and the now familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design had been used since 1959, celebrating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, but the early 90s were a time of behind-the-scenes changes at the United States Mint. Starting in 1982, the composition of the penny had shifted from mostly copper to a zinc core with a thin copper coating, due to rising metal costs. Then came refinements to the coin's design, small changes to the dies that many wouldn't notice. But these changes would create one of the rarest varieties in modern numismatics. In 1992, a new reverse die design was prepared for the upcoming 1993 Lincoln cent series. This updated reverse had tighter spacing between the words, America, in United States of America. More specifically, the letters A and M in America were designed to sit almost touching, a variation known as the close AM design. In prior years, those letters were spaced farther apart, a design now known as wide AM. But in a twist of fate, a small number of 1992 pennies, less than 2 dozen confirmed, at the time of this telling, were struck using the 1993 reverse die by mistake. These coins were released into circulation and spent like ordinary money. For years, nobody noticed. The mistake was too small. Too subtle. You could pass by 1,000 pennies and never see it. And yet, for collectors who know what to look for, that minor difference between wide AM and close AM became a golden signal, a marker of extreme rarity. Most of the 1992 pennies have the wide AM design, as intended. But a very few, struck in both Philadelphia and Denver mints, feature the close AM, making them rare varieties. These are the coins that can sell for tens of thousands, even 6 figures, when found in pristine condition. But what makes a coin like this so special? Let's look closer. A Lincoln cent from 1992 with a close AM on the reverse means that the reverse die intended for the 1993 series was used prematurely. It was an error at the mint, yes, but not a chaotic mistake. This wasn't a misstrike or an off-center coin. It was a die design mix-up, and because dies are replaced periodically, it's easy to see how a newer reverse might have slipped into the process, and here's where things get fascinating. These error coins were not announced. They weren't packaged into collector sets. They weren't discovered immediately. They slipped quietly into circulation, hiding in plain sight. That makes them true modern-day treasures, waiting to be found not in a vault, but in a coin jar on someone's dresser. Now let's talk numbers. In 2012, one such 1992 D close AM penny, graded MS67 read by PCGS, sold for a jaw-dropping $2700 at auction. That was over a decade ago. Since then, collector awareness has exploded. As of today, a pristine example in top grade can fetch up to $145,000, depending on its condition, certification, and demand at the time of sale. The reason is simple: rarity and condition. Only a tiny handful have been certified in high grades, and collectors go to great lengths to complete their variety sets, but rarity alone isn't enough. Condition is key. A heavily circulated 1992 close AM penny might still be worth hundreds or even thousands, but it's the mint state specimens, those preserved in pristine, uncirculated form, that bring six-figure price tags. These coins are judged on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. Anything graded MS 65 or above is already considered gem quality. An MS 67 or higher. That's where the competition gets fierce. That's where the numbers climb fast. Let's imagine how one of these coins might be found. You're sorting through a roll of pennies from the bank, something coin roll hunters do every day. You've looked through hundreds, maybe thousands, before. You spot a 1992 penny and flip it over. Something about the spacing on the reverse catches your eye. You grab a magnifier. The A and the M in America are almost touching. Could it be? Your heart races. You compare it to a normal penny. The difference is clear. You check for wear. The luster is strong. No major scratches. You've just stumbled on something potentially life-changing. So, what do you do next? The first step is always authentication. Send the coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it's confirmed as a 1992 close AM, and especially if it's a Denver minted version, you're sitting on a true rarity. The grading company will slab the coin, giving it an official grade, and return it sealed and labeled. From there, you can choose your path: hold it, auction it, or sell it privately, but beware, not every 1992 penny with close letters is authentic. There are counterfeits, altered coins, and lookalikes. Some coins struck with worn dies can appear to have close AM features when they don't. That's why expert authentication is crucial. For seasoned collectors, the thrill of the hunt is part of the appeal. They know that modern coins still hold secrets. You don't have to search ancient hoards to find rare treasure. Sometimes, it's sitting in a bankroll, a cash drawer, or a forgotten box of pocket change, and that's what makes the story of the 1992 close AM penny so exciting. It's a reminder that even in an age of digital transactions, where cash feels outdated, there are still discoveries waiting to be made. These aren't just coins, they're windows into history, artifacts of precision and accident, symbols of value and curiosity. So the next time you see a penny, don't be so quick to dismiss it. Look closer. Flip it over. Check the spacing on the letters. Examine the date. That 1 cent could hold a story, a mistake, a mystery. It could be worth far more than its weight in copper. It could be worth $145,000. It's strange how something as small as a penny can ripple through history in ways we don't expect. The Lincoln cent isn't just a piece of money, it's a canvas that has carried the image of one of America's most iconic presidents through wars, recessions, celebrations, and everyday life. It has sat in the pockets of soldiers and schoolteachers, been flipped for decisions, placed under pillows, slipped into piggy banks, and pressed into souvenir medallions at museums across the country. Few items in American culture are more common, and yet more deeply intertwined with daily life, than the humble 1 cent piece. That's why, when something goes wrong, or different, in the production of such a widely recognized item, it sparks a special kind of fascination. The story of the 1992 close AM penny isn't just about a minting error. It's about how something subtle, nearly invisible to most people, becomes a coveted object in the world of collectors. It's about human curiosity and attention to detail, the ability to look closely at the things others ignore and find value where no one expects it, and it's not only the AM spacing that matters. Let's get a bit more technical. In 1992, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced pennies with the close AM reverse, though only by mistake. In Denver, coins struck with the close AM reverse die are labeled as the 1992 D close AM, and in Philadelphia, there's simply 1992 close AM. There are believed to be fewer of the Philadelphia examples, making them even rarer. According to known discoveries and verified grading reports, fewer than 20 authentic examples of each have surfaced in high-grade condition. That if you're looking to identify one, here's what to examine. On the reverse side of the coin, focus on the word America. In standard 1992 cents, there's a noticeable space between the A and the M. But in the close AM variety, the bottoms of the A and M nearly touch, or at least appear to. Additionally, the designer's initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, are slightly farther from the base of the Lincoln Memorial in the close AM design than in the standard version. It takes a trained eye and often a magnifier to spot these details with confidence, but once you've seen the difference, you won't forget it, and that's where many collectors find themselves caught. Once they know, they can't stop looking. It becomes a hunt, a thrill, an obsession even. Just ask the countless hobbyists who spend hours searching through rolls of pennies bought in bulk from local banks. These coin roll hunters, as they call themselves, have built online communities, YouTube channels, and even businesses around the search for hidden gems in everyday change. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it could be worth a fortune? Something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny, tucked away in your change jar, may not look like much. But what if I told you that one particular penny, minted in 2001 in the United States, could be worth as much as $135,000 today? That's not a myth or urban legend. It's a reality that continues to shock collectors, investors, and even everyday people who stumble upon this tiny treasure. To truly understand the story behind this coin, we need to travel back in time, not just to 2001, but to the origins of the American penny itself. The 1-cent coin has long been a staple of U.S. currency, introduced in 1793 with the flowing hair cent and evolving dramatically over the centuries. The penny has witnessed wars, depressions, cultural shifts, and massive technological changes, all while maintaining its humble role in commerce. By the year 2001, the penny had long featured the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, a design that had first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The reverse, since 1959, had depicted the Lincoln Memorial, marking the 150th anniversary of his birth. This dual tribute to one of America's most revered presidents had become iconic, cemented in the minds of generations. Now, 2001 wasn't a particularly historic year for the penny in the public's eye. It was just another year in the long line of Lincoln Memorial cents being produced. Billions were minted, both from the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. At face value, the 2001 penny seemed destined for the same fate as its brothers and sisters, to pass anonymously from pocket to pocket, vending machine to cash register. But as with many things in life, the details matter. For those who know what to look for, subtle differences in minting, composition, and condition can turn a regular coin into a rare and valuable collectible. The 2001 penny is no exception. While millions of people used and discarded these coins without a second glance, a few keen-eyed collectors began to notice something unusual. It starts with the striking process. When coins are minted, dies are used to stamp the designs onto blank metal discs, called planchets. This process, though carefully controlled, can sometimes lead to anomalies, misalignments, double strikes, off-center prints, and other errors that are rarely caught before circulation. These so-called mint errors are what often drive up the value of a coin. And in the case of the 2001 penny, one such error changed everything. A small batch of 2001 pennies was discovered with what's known as a double die obverse. In simple terms, this means the die used to strike the front of the coin had been misaligned or used twice at a slight angle, causing a doubling effect on the inscriptions and features. To the untrained eye, this doubling might appear as a smudge or blur. But to collectors, it's gold, sometimes literally. On these rare 2001 era coins, the most noticeable doubling appears in the date and the word Liberty. The letters appear thicker, as if shadowed or echoed. Abraham Lincoln's profile may also show subtle signs of doubling, particularly around the eyes and jawline. When authenticated and graded by professional organizations like PCGS or NGC, these coins can fetch eye-watering prices at auctions, but it's not just error coins that can be valuable. Sometimes, it's about the condition, a coin's grade on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS 70. Most pennies in circulation quickly accumulate scratches, nicks, and discoloration. But a 2001 penny that has been preserved in pristine condition, never touched by human hands, still bearing its original luster, can command a premium even without an error. Such coins are often discovered in original U.S. mint sets, or kept sealed away by savvy collectors or lucky individuals. In one particularly notable case, a 2001 penny graded MS 69 RD, the RD indicating a brilliant red color that reflects original mint brilliance, sold for a staggering $135,000 at auction. This wasn't a fluke. The coin had all the hallmarks of a premium collectible: rarity, condition, historical relevance, and collector demand. Experts were stunned. After all, this was a coin anyone might have spent on a stick of gum 20 years earlier. So what exactly makes a coin like that worth six figures? It's a combination of factors. First, there's the scarcity. Even though billions of 2001 pennies were produced, only a minuscule number survived in near-perfect condition. Second, there's the grading process, which certified its extraordinary state. And finally, there's the demand. Coin collectors, known as numismatists, constantly seek out top-grade examples to complete their sets, and when a near-perfect specimen appears on the market, bidding wars often follow. The appeal also lies in the story. Coins are more than metal, they're artifacts of a moment in time. A 2001 penny isn't just a coin, it's a snapshot of a year that changed the world. 2001 was the year of 9/11, a moment that reshaped global politics and American consciousness. It's the year Wikipedia launched, changing how we access information. It was a moment on the edge of the old and the new, analog fading into digital. That gives even the smallest item from that year a kind of resonance, a historical echo, and that's where the magic of numismatics really shines. Coins may be minted for spending, but their value often lies far beyond their face. They're historical documents, cultural symbols, and in some rare cases, hidden treasures. So, how do you know if you've got one of these special 2001 pennies? Start by taking a close look, ideally with a magnifying glass. Examine the date. Is there any doubling? Are the letters crisp and bold, or do they look shadowed or echoed? Check Lincoln's profile. Then look at the condition overall. Is the coin red and lustrous, or brown and worn? If you think you might have something special, consider getting it graded. A small investment in authentication could unlock life-changing value, and remember, these coins aren't just for millionaires or experts. Some of the most valuable coins in history have been discovered by children, casual collectors, or people cleaning out their attics. It's entirely possible that the next $135,000 penny is sitting in your couch cushions right now. Imagine walking through your favorite flea market on a warm Saturday afternoon. You pass tables filled with baseball cards, antique clocks, mismatched teacups, and all manner of odds and ends. And then your eye catches something small, shiny, even. A bin of old coins. Most people would barely glance. But your curiosity pulls you in. You start rummaging through the change. Quarters from the 80s, tarnished nickels from the 60s, and then, a gleaming 2001 penny. You flip it over, hold it up to the light. At first glance, it seems ordinary. But something about it feels off. Maybe the lettering looks strange. Maybe the color is unusually bright. Little do you know, you may be holding a coin worth more than a luxury car. Let's dig a bit deeper into how such a thing is even possible. The U.S. Mint, a government agency under the Department of the Treasury, is responsible for producing coinage for the nation. In 2001, the Mint operated 4 primary facilities: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, San Francisco, S, and West Point, W. Of these, Philadelphia and Denver were responsible for minting circulating coins, including the common 1-cent pieces. Philadelphia struck well over 5 billion pennies that year, and Denver produced over 5.3 billion. These numbers are staggering, but remember, with such massive production volume, tiny mistakes can creep in, and it's those mistakes, known to collectors as varieties and errors, that make all the difference. Let's clarify the two. A variety refers to a consistent difference in design caused by alterations to the die used for minting. These can include double dies, repunched mint marks, or design transitions. Errors, on the other hand, result from mechanical malfunctions or human oversight during the striking process, such as off-center strikes, blank planchets, die cracks, or clipped planchets. One of the most famous and sought-after types of variety in the coin world is the doubled die, a result of a misalignment during the creation of the die itself, not during the striking of the coin. This is what happened with the iconic 1955 double die penny, and it's the same phenomenon believed to affect some of the rare 2001 Lincoln cents. Now, not every 2001 penny is special, of course. But certain specimens, especially those with strong doubling visible to the naked eye, are the ones that spark bidding wars among collectors. And the market for these coins is not just a hobbyist's game anymore. High-end numismatics is big business. Rare coins frequently sell at major auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where elite collectors and investors battle for historical artifacts like these. Let's talk about the anatomy of a 2001 penny for a moment. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln in profile, facing right, with the word Liberty to his left and the date 2001 to his right. Below the date may appear a mint mark, D for Denver, or no mark at all for Philadelphia. Above Lincoln's head arches the national motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial, detailed enough that a tiny statue of Lincoln is visible between the columns. Above the memorial reads, United States of America, and just beneath that, E pluribus unum. The denomination, 1 cent, sits boldly below the memorial. It's a design that is instantly familiar, yet the tiniest deviations in this well-known image are what can change everything.